Hi, all. Most of the people who know me will get a little nervous when I have a microphone, but I kind of think it's fun. And listen, I know I am the last thing standing in the way of you and lunch. I promise I will make this as painless as possible. Okay, I don't think I'm that bad of a hang. Yes, my name's Lena. I'm a PA. I've been working with the eTMS team for a couple of years. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on why the heck I am here with you in the first place at all today. About 3 years ago, I went to one of my very best friend's wedding from college. His name's Jimmy. He's around here somewhere. What's up, Jimmy? And I am minding my business. I'm having me a time on the dance floor. I'm enjoying my, one or two or 7 gin and tonics when up walks this Joe Charles. And he's telling me all about this healthcare company that he runs where he offers free mental health services for veterans, first responders, and law enforcement, namely doing this brain treatment called eTMS. And he's going on and on about brainwaves and this treatment and the outcomes and the low side effect profile and yada, yada. And I pretended like I knew what he was talking about. I had no freaking clue. And I thought to myself, why is this man bothering me? He made this up. In all my years of family medicine, I have never heard of this. So I get curious enough and I go to the neurology staff that we had on site at the medical practice I used to work at. And I ask them about it, thinking that they're going to say the same thing, like, no, never heard of it, don't know what you're talking about. Boy, was I wrong. They talked to me all about TMS, the science behind it, the outcomes that we're seeing for patients, the low side effect profile, but honestly that it was just really expensive. And so it's hard to get access to. So long story short, that Joe Charles is now my boss and I am now working for that company and I am so honored. It is the best job in the world. And now I'm the one that's gonna bother all you about eTMS and how cool it is. So I do all this to say that if you're sitting here like, what are you talking to me about eTMS? You're in good company. I know the feeling, okay? So in order for all of this to make sense, let's do a little bit of background. So what the heck is eTMS anyway? So it stands for EEG-guided or electroencephalogram-guided transcranial magnetic stimulation. You can see why we need an acronym, yes. And okay, this is the sciencey part. Bear with me, okay? It's not too bad. But in your brains, believe it or not, you have about 90 billion with a B, neurons, these tiny, beautiful, electrically active cells that are constantly in communication with each other about the world around you and how you feel about it and what you need to do about it. Some of you are looking at me like, you sure about my brain, lady? Yes, you too, bud, okay? Everybody, 90 billion. And they have to fire constantly, all the time. Otherwise, you're brain dead. Now we have a new problem. It's very similar to the electrically active cells of your heart. Those things got to keep beating. You got to keep that blood flow going. And just like how your heart has different gears, depending on what you're doing, normal sinus rhythm, bradycardia, tachycardia, and you all have your own sweet spots within that frequency, your brain is the same. Those neurons have about 4 main rhythms that they fire in and out of, from depths of your sleep to being fully awake and alert, to being somewhere in the middle, chilling with your family, with your friends. And in order for you to maximize those events, to sleep most restoratively, to focus, to have mental clarity, to feel calm and in connection with your mood and emotions, those neurons have to fire synchronously together. It's a tall task for 90 billion of anything to, mind their P's and Q's through the course of life. And I don't know if you've heard yet, but life kind of sucks sometimes. And a few things can injure these neurons. Namely, chronic exposure to sound injury, sirens, gunshots, explosions, people screaming at you, alarms. Chronic exposure to chemical injury, caustic agents, pollutants in the air, illicit substances, some prescription meds. Physical injury, concussions, IED blast exposures, quick jostling motions of the head, cruddy sleep, most heavily from trauma exposure. Even if it doesn't emotionally bother you at the time, it is very unnatural for the human brain to be around things that are unsafe or unsavory to the human condition. all the time. Even if the inciting event hasn't happened yet, but you're anticipating doom, it's just very weird for the human brain to deal with all the time, particularly the prefrontal cortex, or the front part of your brain. And so you can see why this is free for first responders and veterans and law enforcement. So it becomes particularly tough for these neurons to even remember what the heck that intrinsic V is, how to fire together, if this becomes your norm, if these exposures become your norm. So then enters us, okay? So what this looks like, we use the EEG to get an idea of what your brain likes electrically. We need to find your sweet spot, okay? And then we kind of help retrain those neurons to fire back with the rest of the team to restore that synchrony. I know, like, when you throw in magnets in your brain, and people are like, excuse me, what? But magnets spin electrons. Magnets, they spin electrons. It's what they do. They create a flux, and that flux is electrically active in the form of sound to other electrically active things. So it's essentially like listening to a song every day that only your neurons can hear. And the human brain is really good with rhythms. I bet you all could tell me all of the lyrics to your favorite 80s song before you tell me what you had for breakfast yesterday. And we have what's called neuroplasticity, where the brain can learn new tricks, adapt to patterns, and change. It's why we, in part, evolved more than other species. Shout out humans. But so we really are just helping create that momentum and get those neurons back in track so that they play nicer together. When you're sleeping, let's really shut it down, guys. Let's get good restorative sleep. When you want to chill and be with the fam, do what you're doing, relax. You can be in control of your mood and emotions. When you're up and focusing throughout the day, you can have mental clarity, mental acuity, no brain fog, all of that stuff. So, if I haven't lost you yet, that's as sciencey as it gets, guys. You did good. Who is this good for then? You know, you don't have to fit into a diagnostic bracket for this to be available to you, okay? If you are sitting here like, yeah, it kind of resonates, I'm not sleeping the best, or maybe, shift work gets in the way of restorative sleep, or maybe you don't feel like you're focusing the best, or mood has been weird, or I don't know, maybe you're just getting a little too road ragey, come hang out with us, okay? Side effect profile? This is my favorite part of treatment, honestly, because as a clinician, I just don't have to worry about my patients. And this is very individualized treatment, so therefore it's very modifiable. So if you struggle with any of these side effects, speak up, talk to us, and we will adjust. It will help us. Common ones, headache. About 20% of patients will have a headache after the first couple treatments. Ironically enough, standard TMS is an FDA-approved treatment for headaches. When you get a lot of neuron discord, it causes inflammation, contributes to headaches. So if you get that fixed, headache gets better. Vivid dreams, about 10% of patients will have really vivid dreams. It's a good sign. They shouldn't be bad, just very fun. I did a mini version of this because I live in Indiana, and that's all I have access to right now. And I have the coolest dreams every night. I got in the jacuzzi with George Clooney the other day. My husband did not appreciate that, but we had a great time. Appetite can increase a little bit. Don't kill me on that one. Your brain consumes about 30% of your total glucose, even at rest. We are challenging your brain to get its act back together, okay? So that glucose demand can increase, leaving you feeling more excited for your next meal. I know probably, don't talk about food right now. I'm sure you're hungry. You're not gonna gain weight because your brain's gonna consume that increased energy. Now, if you go eat McDonald's 5 times a day, I can't help you, my friend. But yeah, that's why we have snacks at the office, juices, things like that. After each individual session, usually people go about their day just fine. It does massage a little bit of dopamine at the brain tissue level. That's not the goal of treatment. It's just a natural byproduct, and some people are very sensitive to that. And so they walk out of there feeling all like warm and fuzzy. They think the colors look pretty. If you feel really weird and not yourself, again, speak up. Sometimes people do the opposite, where they feel like they just sat through a lecture. Also probably how you feel right now. And shake it off. That's your cue to have a snack, have a drink. Again, let us know. There is a 1 in 100,000 risk of seizure. That used to bother me until I learned that video games have like a 1 in 10,000 risk of seizure. And that's it for side effects. Who is not a good candidate for treatment? If you have uncontrolled seizure disorders, we should probably get that controlled first. If you have just a bunch of freaking metal in your face, we might need to take a look at that. Now, usually surgical metal is titanium these days. Stainless steel in particular is the trouble child. So if you have anything magnetically active, like a VP shunt or a stent or something, if you are pregnant, I'm so sorry, come hang out with us in 10 months. Or if you have an Inspire device for sleep apnea, I am so sorry, you cannot be our friend. So yeah, if any of this interests you at all, come talk to our table. We have a really cool group of staff members, of clinicians. Of course, I'm gonna say that because I work for this team, but I do love everybody. And I have been very impressed with the people that we keep in our circle. We really care. I don't know, they don't make that very often in medicine anymore. And they give us a lot of time with our patients. So if you still have questions, the whole process is meant to help you with that. We've got a nursing staff that will do your intake, make sure you're essentially a good candidate for treatment. Then you'll meet with a technician, we'll do that brain scan, you'll get more questions answered, you get to meet a clinician, you'll get like an hour with us to just chat, get whatever you need. It probably won't be me, I'm so sorry, I would love to be your friend, but I normally do the Florida clinics. And we'll take it from there. We have follow-ups with you, we touch base with you. Okay, I didn't bore you too much, right? We survived. If you have questions, come find me. I very much appreciate you all. Thank you so much.